It cannot get much more dominant than that as Kansas State defeats Bowling Green here today at Bill Snyder's Family Stadium 52-0 and improves to 2-0 on the 2019 season. From GoPowercat.com, I am Riley Gates, and this is your postgame press pass brought to you by Robbins Motor Company. When Kansas State last week dominated the ball on the ground against Nichols, going for nearly 400 yards between all of its running backs, could the Wildcats do it again this week? You betcha, as the Wildcats get over 300 yards once again. Jordon Brown getting in on the action first to score a touchdown. Then it was James Gilbert also finding the end zone. He got in there twice. Kansas State, for back-to-back weeks, has gone over 300 rushing yards. Another dominating performance running the ball, and that's exactly what the Wildcats had planned to do today.
When you're playing behind that offensive line, you can look pretty good too. We've got a great offensive line, so let's give the credit to those guys. No, real pleased with our backs. I thought James Gilbert made a big-time run today. You know, bouncing outside and getting, banged up and then hitting the edge and making a big play. Jordon Brown had a big run. Harry's running really hard. We wanted to try the younger guys. We didn't play Tyler as much just to see what the younger guys could do. Nothing to do with Tyler. I just want to see those younger guys. So I feel comfortable, and we're going to need all of them moving forward.
I think it says that the offensive line is doing a great job, getting their blocks, getting up to linebackers, and letting us do our work once we get to the next level.
I think we proved that we can run the ball, and y'all can prepare for it, try to stop and watch as much as I want to, but that's what we're gonna do. We make no secret. We want to run the ball no matter who you are, and it's gonna be one of those things like a boxing match. Who's gonna stop hitting first, and we're not gonna stop for sure.
It's a lot of fun to be able to go in and get our work done, and be able to send in some young guys to get some experience as well.
In our position group, we don't look at like touches or touchdowns or stats or nothing like that. We look at wins and losses. So anytime we can get a big win like we did, and show a statement to our next opponent, I feel good as going into Mississippi State Week 3. So I'm not really into that, or nobody on the team is really into the stats or touchdowns, nothing like that. We just want to get the win and get the results.
52 points was the big number on the board for K-State, but the other number, the goose egg, the 0 that the defense put up for Bowling Green. It was an impressive performance considering that the Falcons had the ball in K-State territory a few times and looked like they would get at least a field goal out of the day, but when the clock hit 0, Bowling Green still had 0 points.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it just gives us a big confidence going into next week playing Mississippi State as well too. So, I just like that everybody played. You know what I'm saying? We got the goose egg, like you said. So
a goose egg is always big. I don't know how many goose eggs, maybe 3 since I've been playing here. So 3 or 4. I was talking to Reggie about that, but I think that's big every time we have a goose egg. And, when they get down in the red zone and our side of the field, those turnovers are big. And I remember telling those guys, like, hey, we're keeping points off the board. That's big.
We haven't had a lot of plays on defense on our side of the ball, but it just puts, shows us how much more focused we got to be just with more plays that we know we're going to get to. And at the end of the day, it's football, too, as well. So, we know we got a big contender that we got to actually go to next week, too. So it's going to be a game. I know that for a fact. It's going to be a game.
K-State head coach Chris Klieman always likes to say that what you did last week, what you've done before, has no bearing on the game next week. However, after 2 very dominating wins and a nice start to the 2019 season, Kansas State now heads down to Mississippi State next weekend, holding a lot of confidence. The Wildcats have given up just 14 points overall in 2 games and have put up quite a few points offensively. K-State is facing a tough Bulldog team next week, an SEC team no less, but they feel confident going into this game.
It's a big confidence boost, to put points on the board and have our offense working efficiently. We just have to keep rolling into next week.
It's huge, and going down to Starkville, I've never been there, never played there, obviously, but I heard it's a fun atmosphere. I think it's going to be good for our defense because they're not loud when we're on the field, but we got to get them back. That's the big thing. We got new schemes, we got new offense, we got new defense, we got playmakers, we got 1 and 2 deep. We got guys who can play, and it's not just our ones. We got guys who can rotate, and I think it's going to be a dogfight.
I feel like it's a rivalry game just because last year too, that that one still get to me. I know we took that L, and then that's the game I also got hurt to in my bad, but. Yeah, we know we got a game next week.
It's a great opportunity for our football team. We're about to test to see where we're at as a football team going into week 3. The first 2 teams, we're supposed to beat those teams. We're a better team than both of those teams. So it's going to be another statement game, So I feel like we're going to come to work on Monday, practice, put up a game plan, and go from there.
We know that there's a lot of tough games in front of us, starting next week at Mississippi State. So we've got to be able to enjoy this and then put it behind us and go to work on Monday.
One more time, it's 52-0, the final score here today between Kansas State and Bowling Green. The Wildcats are 2-0 on the season, and they'll head down to Starkville, Mississippi to face Mississippi State at 11 a.m. next weekend.